They're known for their memorable moments on the field and on the court, but an athlete's real impact can go so much farther than that. So many folks ready to come together over some great music here at the Dome tonight, and I think in terms of myself, a little bit chilly, but I feel fine. Well, if you hear that going off behind me, don't worry, it's not the fireworks yet. They're just finishing up the national anthem. It's just about game time here, but if you're not locked in for all 9 innings, don't worry, because afterwards there's going to be a fireworks celebration that you won't want to miss. And once each first aid kit makes it to the end of the assembly line, they get vacuum sealed and put in this box to be sent over to help the people of Ukraine. JMA Wireless specializes in its 5G technology, and they've been bringing that to a lot of sports venues around the country, and they're doing that here in Syracuse. So it's not just about the name, which is obviously a big part of it, but it's about upgrading the whole digital infrastructure. If you still want tickets, the good news is there are some available. Up here in the 300s, 319 for example, you'll be paying anywhere from $50 to a little over $100. Yeah, that's right. And if you want tickets in this section, you're going to have to pay probably over $200. And if you want seats down here on the floor, let's just say it's going to be a pretty penny. Behind me is Scriba Creek, which is where walleye season starts, but not until May 1st, which is what has the people of Constantia so upset. I mean, she's lived on South Ave for most of her life, but she says that illegal fireworks like the ones that are advertised right on this billboard that you can see behind me, that's Phantom Fireworks in Pennsylvania, they've been becoming more and more of an issue, even right outside her own house. Teachers, friends, and those who knew him around town held candles, and they shared stories to help celebrate his memory. With a small recruiting class of just 4 cadets and crime in the city not slowing down, it's a challenging time for a police officer. Mayor Walsh used a couple of sports analogies when describing Johnson Kinsey. He said he's kind of the glue guy. He's holding together all of these new gun violence efforts that the city is trying to get going, as well as the point guard, really facilitating all of those efforts as well. Well, Jeff and Christy, I mean, there's a lot of new changes that you're going to be able to see. You mentioned my hat. This is courtesy of some of the new friends I've made here so far. When he heard his brother was putting together medical supplies for Ukraine, Mark Timniski, a native of Syracuse and fellow Ukrainian, came all the way from Washington, D.C. to lend a hand.
When the war started in February, we all started to come together and think, how can we help our family, friends overseas?
One way they're doing so is by packing and sending over medical supplies, which his brother Adrian helped to organize.
The world tends to have a short attention span, and they move on to the next issue and next issue. But the thing that's important to remember, the reality on the ground in Ukraine hasn't changed day to day. You know, the bombs are still falling, people are still dying, and you know, to keep up the support is more important now than ever.
And they had plenty of support as medical students from Upstate University took time Saturday afternoon to pack those first aid kits.
We have a bunch of medical supplies, gauzes, bandages, alcohol wipes that we're packing up. We're going to send 200 of those. And then the chief of police at University Hospital, we were able to collect 60 bulletproof vests that are going to be given to the frontline workers, not necessarily on the battlefield, but for the first aid workers, so we can get that help over to them.
And once each first aid kit makes it to the end of the assembly line, they get vacuum sealed and put in this box to be sent over to help the people of Ukraine.
When we were growing up, if you saw some sort of Ukrainian flag or the country or etc., it was like, oh, they're one of us. Now you can't tell because everyone is purchasing flags and stickers, etc., and all the contributions that they're giving, the donations that they're making are going to help.
Unified support to make a difference overseas. In Syracuse, Casey Honigbaum, News Channel 9.
And once you get the base built...
For Pete Sala and the entire crew, it's like they've been working 8 days a week as they prep to welcome Sir Paul McCartney to the Dome on Saturday.
We worked all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, and came in this morning to start doing some of the preparation on the electrical side, on the rigging side, but the stage is pretty much built.
But they still have a hard day's night ahead of them.
For this evening into tomorrow morning, you'll see about 20 production trucks roll up out front. We have about 175 stagehands coming in to help us start putting the stage together, and we hope that by Friday evening, 7, 8 o'clock, we'll be in really good shape.
The easiest part? Getting fans their ticket to ride.
Today we got to the 35,000 number. I expect us to be at about 35.5 by the time the show starts on Saturday evening.
If you still want tickets, the good news is there are some available. Up here in the 300s, 319 for example, you'll be paying anywhere from $50 to a little over $100. Yeah, that's right. And if you want tickets in this section, you're going to have to pay probably over $200. And if you want seats down here on the floor, let's just say it's going to be a pretty penny. For many, this visit might just be a day tripper, so they're going to need help. Sala recommends arriving early, making sure tickets are pre-downloaded, and especially figuring out parking as soon as possible.
If you haven't bought a parking pass for the west side of campus, there is no parking there. We're asking people, if you don't have a parking pass, to go to Skytop.
Even as they plan to welcome the first massive crowd to the Dome since before the pandemic, everyone is confident it will come together in the end. At the JMA Wireless Dome, Casey Honigbaum, News Channel 9. People are just happy to be back outside, are ready to rock tonight. The parking lot's not totally full yet, but I'm sure it'll get going within the next couple of minutes. Live at the amphitheater, Casey Honigbaum, News Channel 9.